Construction is a very tough business because there's a lot of anxiety. The teacher spends more time in the classroom than they do at home. And we go in with demo crews and we tear the classroom up. And we can see that stress. We understand that it's a school site with construction versus a construction site with school.
My father was one of the smartest guys around. We learned a lot from him. He was tough. He was always fair, but he made what we are today.
Fred came from Colorado to Berkeley, California. He was in a 48 Ford and had $48 in his pocket. And he walked on a construction site and he told the company that he would work for a month without a paycheck to show him he was the hardest worker they'd ever seen. And then in 1978, he bought the company with 3 partners.
Well, that's UC Davis.
Right.
That's the Med-Sci building in UC Davis.
Downtown San Jose, all their city departments are in that building.
These were new buildings when this was built.
Right. Right. Concord Pavilion.
It was a Concord Pavilion. We went to some of these jobs when we were kids, Mike. Our first brochure.
Boy, howdy. Look at those 2 fine-looking pups. It's been fun. It's been fun, and the industry's fun. I really, really enjoy the construction industry.
I consider myself to have been so fortunate to have had Mike Van Pelt, and the whole company to work with. Mark and Mike would look at the architect's plans before we went to bid, a really smart thing to do. And they would anticipate changes that needed to be made before going to bid so that we didn't have excessive change orders.
We look at it with a technical eye as things are being designed because there's that background and experience in construction.
Education is always our #1 priority. We become part of the district, we become part of the family and the fabric of that community. This is one of the new flexible classroom spaces that are really popular with K-12 construction right now in design. When you go into a portable and it's dingy and it's dark, it promotes a certain kind of feeling. And when you go into a space like this, it promotes a different kind of feeling. And what we find is that the students treat these spaces with more respect, and that really kind of speaks to their value and that they know that they're being valued.
Student and staff safety are the most critical phase of every project. Construction process, schedules, budgets are secondary. We have to analyze the safety of every single day before we march forward.
How can we make sure we get the routes done, make sure that the students have their access to wherever they need to be to protect that learning environment? Because that's essentially why we're here, right?
Van Pelt didn't let any noise happen during the school day. Whatever construction was going on, noise was not permitted.
A big company comes in and they would think they were more about getting it done so they can move on to the next thing, not really terribly concerned about how it affects the kids. I think that's one of our biggest selling points is the connection that our team makes to the district or the teachers. They always want to be part of the community.
We did a project at Vallejo High School. They had a theater, 20 years beyond its life expectancy. And we modernized that, and when we cut the ribbon on that, they got so excited to see this theater and this music room that they did a massive dog pile in the middle of the stage. 50 kids in a pile, screaming, crying, laughing, hugging each other. And I thought that day, I go, no, this is what we do. It's not about rebar and bolts and nuts and nails. This is what we do.
You spared me having to deal with issues. You spared me. You took care of them.
Well, that's our job. We always say that you need to educate kids and take care of facilities, and we need to do the construction and let you do your job.
Schools are the center of people's communities. It's where gathering points in emergencies. It's the center of your neighborhood. It's the whole piece. So it's very important to make sure that we're serving the whole communities that we're working in.
The one thing I'm most proud of is the diversity of perspectives that we bring to our clients. And when we talk about how we design these buildings and how they're going to serve that community, we really value having those different perspectives.
We have a real good crew right now, and I tell them every time I get a chance when we get together, I sleep easy at night knowing the crew we have.
I remember when Eric was in high school and he was working in the office for me during the summer. But there was some point where I looked at them and I thought, it's not just a summer job. This is part of their life. The company's in good hands.
I wanted Kelly and Eric to work for us like Mike and I worked for our dad, and they're doing a great job. We've elevated them to the level of vice president, and within the next 10 years, they're going to be taking this thing over. And they both have their skill sets that complement each other. Eric is our OSHPOD and really technical hospital builder, but he also builds schools. Kelly's become our Division of State architect expert. They know what to do to get these projects done, and they're both great. There's nothing I can say about them other than that.
This is my family's business. Coming to work every day means I am not just serving myself, I'm serving my brother and his wife and his kids. I'm serving my mom, my dad, my uncle, and I take that commitment extremely seriously. I come with a deep passion for making sure that things are done right. I don't punch my time clock at 5 and I go home and I forget about this, because if I did that, I wouldn't be serving my family.